Okay, so here are the hands we did in class the other day. Um, First hand is a double and correct hand. This is the way we show a maximum hand when we have to overcall. Overcalls can be light, right? A lot of people take, well, there's a part on the convention card actually that it will say um, what you overcall at. I wonder if I could just quickly pull that up. Doesn't look like it. But basically, people can overcall at different levels. In a good competitive game, something like 7 to 17 will make an overcall. And if we are going to get a stronger hand, we have to double first, which is what I would do here. Because we have a 19-point hand. 7, 10, 19 points. Partner bids 2 clubs, and we sort of disregard that. Now, when I bid 2 hearts, as you can see, the robot is going to take that as a maximum hand with hearts. And apparently has enough to invite me to game, which I will do. 19, 20, 23. So, but with a fit and 2 long suits and a stiff and diamonds, he felt it was worthwhile. Um, so we're in 4 hearts. I've got a 6 card suit. I got a 9 card trump suit, missing the Queen Jack. And the Jack of Hearts is a huge clue right here. We know where the Queen of Hearts is. Absent some trickery by West, which does happen, then we know that the Queen of Hearts is in West. I mean in East, because we would not be leading the Jack if we had the Queen, assuming they don't have any special kind of leads regarding Jacks and Tens. So I know where the Queen is, which means I know that I can finesse for the Queen, and that's going to be a key for me on this hand. I have 2 spade losers and I have a club loser. So the last thing I want to do is lose a heart on top of that. Um, so I'll go ahead and win this one. And the question is, I don't really have a lot of high cards in the dummy, but I do have a way to ruff, right? Because to finesse that queen, I'm going to need to get over there. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and lead what was going to be um, my heart loser, I mean my diamond loser, and which could have been my diamond loser, I should say, and cross over, and I'll be able to finesse the queen. And as it turns out, it was queen third, so I could not have just played ace king to get it. Ace king is a nursery rhyme. 9 never, 8 ever. Finesse for the queen when you have 9. Don't finesse for the queen. Don't finesse for the queen when you have 9. Finesse for the queen when you have 8. But that's what I call a bridge nursery rhyme. And there are times when it's not true, and that is especially true with 9 never, because um, I mean the cards are more likely to break 3-1, and the only reason that we think that it's going to be a good play to play ace king is because you add in the percentage to the percentage that they're going to break 2-2. You get to add the fact that that the queen may be in one of those twos, that it may be queen doubleton, and that makes it just slightly better than a 50% chance. So if you get a hint that the queen is not a doubleton, or where the queen is, then you have to take that hint, which is what we did here when the Jack of Heart was led. We knew where the queen was. We knew we could finesse it. So we were able to increase our chances of making this contract. So now I've got 5 tricks. I've got 3 hearts. That's 8. I've got the king and queen of diamonds for 9 and 10. So I make my contract, and that's all we need to do here. That is, I claimed wrong there. That was just claiming for 620. Now, one of the other things that I think when we played this in class, um, our volunteer actually took a line that made a lot of sense to me. This time on the overcall, I only have 16 points. So I'm not going to double first. Instead, I'll just bid my hearts. My partner has some support, and they rebid their club, so they have a long club suit. right? I have this other diamond suit. I have a stiff in there suit, so I'm just going to jump right to 4. So let's see what my partner's going to cover for me. I have the ace, king, queen of hearts, so we know that their points, their 8 or 9 points, are going to be outside of my suit. And when it comes down, they have the ace, queen, jack, 6, 3. Now, one thing you could do here, we'll just go ahead and lose the club to make the hand less messy. See what they lead. So I have 1 loser already. I can only afford to lose 2 more. If the hearts break, I'm not losing any hearts, but I have the king of spades as a potential loser. And in my hand, I also have 2 diamond losers. So one thing I could do here is just play the ace, king of diamonds and try to ruff 2 diamonds. And that works all fine and good so long as nobody roughs in. I could play the ace, king of hearts here, then play the ace, king of diamonds and ruff, and there's a chance that if somebody had 2 diamonds, they would no longer have a heart, right? Because the hearts, in a nice world, will break 3-2. But what if the hearts break 4-1? What if the person with 4 hearts has 2 diamonds, or, right, 2 diamonds, which would only require a 5-2 split. We've all seen 5-2 splits over and over. So there's another line of play that appeals to me more, and that is to set up the spade suit. I have 8 of them, right? So if I can set up that spade suit, then I'm in great shape. I don't need to worry about pulling trump here. I don't need hearts as an entry anymore. I need them to break, and they did. Otherwise, I guess I could have switched to the diamond rough scenario we saw yesterday, which worked, by the way, because as it turned out, the person with 2 diamonds, the 5-2 did exist. They only had 2 hearts, so pulling ace, king, and then ace, king, diamonds in a rough worked. But you can see we were depending on some special circumstances here. So now I'm back in the position of this. I'm going to just play my spades. Now I could play the ace here and then just play another, and that might be a great way to get the king out and set up the cards. Or I could take the finesse for an extra trick, and I think I'll do that. And I don't get the extra trick. In fact, I took too deep of a finesse. I got to do that again. Sorry. Didn't mean to play the 10. The jack. I did 9. I meant to play the jack. I didn't even play the 9, did I? Let's see. I got to take this guy out too, and to play the jack. Here we go. Now we're in business. Put our rubbers back in. So now I can lose to the king. I don't want to lose to the 10. That's fine. I needed to play the jack there. We get the diamond lead back. Right? Now all we need is for the spades to break 3-2, and I think that's a pretty good option here. And when they do, then we have 2 places to deposit our diamonds. So that's the way I played it. But yesterday we saw. Sorry, I can't remember. It's Janet, I think. I can't remember who played it. They went for the diamond ruff instead, which had play and made in this case. At least that's my memory. So jack over to the king of diamonds and heart for the final. That seems like a relatively safe way to make that contract. One of the skills that we develop over time in bridge, and it's definitely almost an experience thing more than anything else, is that we learn to watch the cards that our opponents play, and we're a little bit more attuned to what they might mean. So I bid a heart here, and West shows 7 diamonds. My partner comes in with 3. East supports the diamonds, and I have no choice but to go to 5 hearts, worrying that I have 6. But that's what preempts do. They force you high, and they take away your time to explore. Fortunately, I don't have a lock for 6 tricks. Um, I have a potential, I have a spade loser, right, which is going to give me a spade winner in the dummy. And then I have the king of hearts, which is a potential loser. It looks like the clubs will run. So the question is, how do I run these clubs? I have to pull trump first. Right? So I can play this three of spades. I assume I'll lose this, and we'll get a lead back. Now, the thing that we needed to be watching was, why did the guy who bid all those diamonds play the six of spades? And we have six spades in the dummy, one in our hand, that's seven, right? So if the six was a stiff, that would be 6, 1, 1, 5, right? A 5-1 split in spades. Not that unusual. And the other clue that we're getting here about the way the opps are playing the cards, the opponents are playing the cards, is that now he's leading back into the queen 10. So we're almost entirely assured that this is in fact a that the six of spades was a singleton, and that now we're going to get roughed. So we can lose two tricks, right? And the question that we're concerned with is, will we lose more than that, right? So we could lose this one here, which seems to work. This is what we saw yesterday. But as I said at the time, the other play that we have here is that if we go up with queen, can we force out the king? Right. So the question is, how strong of a backbone does West have? Because playing the king actually gives us the contract. But I'm willing to bet that there are very few who would not cover the king in this case and take their second trick, especially in match points. If they play small, if we duck, we let them rough small, then we will be successful if the king is in south, right? So if the king is in south, we can still finesse. I mean, the king is in west, we can still finesse for it later. If the king is not in west, then we're never going to get it at all. Right? So either the king is in west and we can finesse for it, or it's not in west and it's in east, and it has to be a singleton over there, otherwise we won't be able to get the king of hearts. But the king of hearts is our only loser, right? So we don't want to lose to we don't want to lose to anything else but the king of hearts. So despite the fact that this thing can be beat, if I play the queen of hearts and West has the fortitude to duck, I just don't think it will happen. I don't think people will do that. They will take their second trick. If I take the queen of hearts and the king is in east, now I can just simply lose it and I'll get the rest of the tricks. So I think that probably all things equal. And the other, let's see. Well, we got another clue too. We've seen one trick. We have in our hand we had a king, so we had 10, 13, 14, 15, 16 points in our hand. We have 20, 22, 24 between north and south. 24 between north and south. Give West for their overcall. They're in the red. Give him 7 or 8 points. Let's give him 8 points. So we have 6, 8, 16, 24, 32 points. And we give East the ace of spades, which we've seen. We've seen the ace of spades. And it looks a whole lot like that West might be holding everything else that's important. So just to be able to get up to 8 points. So that I think that makes some sense here to think, and plus we know that East has the jack of spades, right? If 6 was a singleton, so that's 5 points. That's 5 points right there. So for West to get up to enough to be able to make its bid of 3 diamonds in the red, I think that we can safely assume, give them the ace king of diamonds, and that's still not quite enough. It's still not quite enough, and there's no other place for it to exist because we have all the clubs. Right? So I think that the king of hearts is in West, so we can finesse for it later, and that's probably the safest play. So so we're in a weird situation where we're going to play the 6 of clubs, let him ruff small. There's the king of diamonds. And now we're going to finesse. There were 4 hearts out. Right? There are now 3. Now there's 2. And there's the 9. Sorry, I counted that wrong. And the 9 will be the last one, correct? Well, yeah, sure, because the only other one out there is the 7. The 7 already dropped. So we kind of can figure out that the king is there. And although I think that 90% of the time, roughing with the queen will fetch the jack from West, who will want to limit the damage, the fact of the matter is the hand gets beat if you play the queen. And West has the courage to duck the king of hearts. But now, of course, we have the rest of the tricks. Because we started with 9 clubs and we have the top 4. So anyways, it was interesting. That was a hand that I thought I understood, but yesterday playing it, I realized that it was the fact that when the spade lead came back, if you went high, that West, the robot West, will play the king. I'm guaranteed the robot will play the king. But would an expert player? Expert player ducks, leaving the 7, which later on creates this weird situation where South's top honor is stuck between the king and the 9. And the hand will go down there. But to get that play out of West, I think would be brilliant defense, just brilliant defense. They're going to go up with that king 95% of the time. Take their trick. All right, because they know it's finessable. So if that they know that if you're sitting with the king and you're looking at the ace on the board and you know that your partner's going to be short in hearts, then you know that your king of hearts is finessable. So you take your trick when you can get it. 7 and 5 is 12, 13, 14, 15. 1 no trump, right? Minimum no trump, and 1 no trump opener. They transfer me to spades. We get a diamond bid. This will be a 5 spades, 4 diamonds. It's a highly distributional hand. Sometimes it's a very strong hand as well, game forcing. This hand with 5-5 spades and diamonds sometimes is looking for diamond slam. So if you have some extras and you have 4 diamonds, you can actually bid diamonds here. And then if they get worked up, they may go on. But with a minimum, you just go to 4 spades. Just go to 4 spades. It says no extras, no extra diamonds, but I got 3 spades. And indeed, they have a 5-5. They can make 4 diamond tricks if they're handled correctly. We're missing the jack of spades, but the 2 of spades is going to give us all the spade tricks, right? Because it's leading into the queen 9. By leading into the queen 9, we can win the trick. Somebody's just commenting. They're wondering about where the video was. So online being prepared now. Oh, I didn't type that to him though. So making movie right now. You guys have all been so nice to me on this thing. I know I'm not the most experienced teacher, but I do enjoy it, and I love working with people. And I hope that you see that. So I mean, I'm sort of experienced bridge. I got, I'm maybe a month or two away from being a bronze life master, and I play, I work hard on my game, and I got a 63-year-old brain, so it doesn't pick up things quite as good as like that 24-year-old that we all wish we were. But there's, it's coming. I haven't hit the downward curve yet, that's for sure. I'm still striving. So, anyways, back to this hand. So the queen nine, right? The jack is stuck between it. If West led from the jack, then I'll score the nine. I can leave the ace, king, queen, and that should bring it down unless there's a wild distribution. So let's see what happens, and we'll talk about the rest of the hand. Yeah, so the queen is there. So we're going to get the rest, right? We have all the top tricks: ace, king, 9-8. Why would West lead trump? Well, sometimes it's the safest lead you got, right? We're taught always to underlead our honors when we're beginners, and that's not always the best lead. All right, so we're in South's hand, and we have no spade losers. We have two heart losers, and I'm looking at North's hand. Two heart losers, no club losers, and hopefully no diamond losers. So the only losers up there are the hearts. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take advantage that we have four clubs, they have nine, and think that they probably won't rough in on the second one. Right? Now the diamonds is a little bit scarier, right? But I can don't have a problem here. What I can do is, right, we need to unblock this king and queen. If we want to score both the king and queen, we're going to have to get back over here. So how do I get back over here? With a small one, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pull the rest of the trump, right? And that means there's one more out. I can cross the king, play the queen. That's 8 of them. There's the 9. I think only the 10 is left. We'll rough our way back over, and we have these tricks. Even if the 10 is out. Oh, 10 must have been played already. Sorry. Maybe I even had it. And our only loser is the heart. So we can turn this into 12 tricks by getting rid of our heart losers early on, right? So we end up getting 5 spades, 5 diamonds for 10, and the ace king for 12. And if you were counting winners, that's the way you would do it. Right? You could say, well, I got 12 tricks. But I like to count the losers because I like to make sure the losers are all tidied up. But you certainly could have done it the other way. You end up pitching the same thing. I just find it safer. Chick, I took a year of lessons for Chick, so you got to understand, I really respect her. And that was weekly lessons for a year on defense. But she always teaches that she says people who tell you to count losers are teaching you wrong. And I chuckle at that every time because, of course, I learned to do losers. I recommend the Adam Parrish book on when to pull trump or whatever it's called, which is a count losers book. And when I've taken her classes, she will have people count the winners, and then sometimes she'll say, do you see any problems? And of course, I always knew the answer because I was counting the losers, and it was like, well, if you're not careful, they're going to rip off these 3 losers in a row. So it's interesting. I will count winners a lot, though, especially when I'm playing imp pairs games, imp robot pairs games, a lot of times I will count the winners in the side suit just to see if I have, if I'm playing a game, just to see if I have 10, because we don't need over tricks there. And if I can see 10 top tricks, then I'm feeling really good. I'm not going to work hard at an over trick in imps ever. So, anyways, I'm digressed. Next hand um, is we get a club, and it comes to us in the fourth seat. We have potentially a no trump hand, right? 5, 6, 10, 16 points, and it's sort of, you squint a little bit, it sort of looks balanced. Um, Indeed, I might open this one no trump sometimes, but I can't open one no trump here with 16 points. If I want to bid this as a balanced hand with a stopper, I have to double first, because one no trump in the pass out seat is only showing 11 to 14 points or so. Actually, you'll make an agreement with that with your better partners on what a balancing no trump shows. And so if you wanted to bid no trump, you'd have to double first and then bid a no trump, and they would know you were actually in the strong 15 to 17 no trump range. But the other problem with this hand, of course, is I only have the one club stopper. So I'm feeling pretty good about just bidding one diamond. And my partner has something. There's a double from West, so he's short in diamonds and probably has both majors. Probably has his 4-4 in the majors. Or wouldn't be surprised to see that. East jumps in with 2 hearts. Now, the way the auction's going, I'm thinking that that East is the weakest hand at the table. My partner had at least 8 to answer. I started with 16, that's 24. And West open, that's, if you give him 12, that's still 36 points. So East doesn't have anything, right? But he knows there's a 4-4 fit in hearts, or better. In fact, it's probably better. He probably has 5 hearts. I have 3. That would make the heart suit 5-4-3-1. I think we can almost guarantee that our partner has either 1 heart or 0 hearts, because East shouldn't be bidding right now without a long heart suit. And West, by doubling, promised 4-4 in the majors. You follow that? So there's 4 there in West, 5 in East, 3 in my hand. There's only 1 heart left. So my heart and I'm going to cover it with the ace of hearts. So I don't see any problem here in going to 5 diamonds. I would do this especially if I was in an imps game. I don't want to play 3 no trump in imps, which is the other option here, is to hope that we can stop clubs and stop hearts. We had 1 stop for hearts, and we had 2 stops for clubs. So unfortunately, because they led the heart, I will not be able to in no trump, I wouldn't be able to knock out the ace of diamonds without them being able to run this 9-card heart suit that they have. Right? So my immediate worry remains the same, actually. I have 2 heart losers, and all I want to do is get rid of those heart losers. Right? And I see no place to get rid of them except by roughing them. Right? Now, what would happen if I played a diamond right now, and West jumped up with the ace, right? Well, then and let a heart. Well, I would be roughing the hearts. So why not rough them now? This is easy enough. We know they're not going to rough in, so I'll just dump these. Interesting. This might be the better play here. Hopefully I can do this. Let me get rid of this guy. If I yeah. And then we got to put somebody back in here. What if I rough high here? I got king, like we have a bunch of diamonds. We have 9 of them. Right? And we know the ace is out there, so it's going to be ace doubleton, or it's going to be ace third, or it's going to be ace all by itself. But either way, I think we can afford to rough high, which will give us the 4 diamonds to lead back. So we don't even have to risk a ruff in another suit here, right? And there's the ace, and we got 2, so we know the king, queen will pull the rest. And I guess we're going to have to risk a ruff anyways. Or we can set up the queen. We can set up the king of spades now. Yeah. So we were always going to get one spade, and that's all. Because looks like the 4 points that we speculated on East having were the ace of spades. But anyways, we got our one spade winner, which we were guaranteed by virtue of having the king queen. He did. That's all he had. And then we can claim with the rest of the trump. So what was the play there? Our most basic of techniques, getting rid of losers by roughing them. Had we knocked out the ace of diamonds first and they led a heart, that's exactly what we would have been doing, right? And we knew they had a 9-card heart suit. So I just thought, why bother with this knocking? Let's do it now while we got there. But I guess either way, you're going to end up in the same position. But my inclination seems to always be to take care of your losers early. Get rid of them. Later on, you don't want things to start going haywire in the hand and still have losers to get rid of. That was so entirely safe to do it that way. So 5, 7, 6 is 13. I can open a spade. 3 hearts. There. This is a support bid for spades, so I'll go to 4. This technique is not one of my favorites. Maybe I just suck at it. I don't know. But one lesson to be learned is if you're going to do a cross ruff, which is the secret to this hand, you have to win your top tricks first. Because while you're cross ruffing and using up your trump, they're throwing away cards in other suits and saving their trump. So like here, if you don't take your ace of clubs and your ace of diamonds, then there's a really good chance that you'll never get them. We got a heart loser. The other thing you got to do when you're doing cross ruff is keep track of it. Notice how he switches to a spade. Of course he does, because he sees that this is potential for having a cross ruff here. So I guess if you wanted to try a diamond finesse, problem with that is if the diamond finesse loses, let's see, if your diamond finesse loses, they're going to lead another trump, and that will leave you with 1 heart that you'll have to deal with. And you can't take a finesse in clubs unless you take what we call a roughing finesse. Play the ace and then lead the queen, hoping that East has the king. So, let's just take it. Like I said, I hate these. So I'll take my first one there, play the ace on this. Still planning to ruff the hearts. And now club back. There's 7 of them, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them. So there are only 2 clubs out. Hopefully no, that's wrong, 3 clubs out. So hopefully, no, just, we've led them twice, right? So, we only had 6, that's right. So yeah, they're still they could still break evenly. I will take my ace of diamonds now. Lead a heart. Hope that it works. It does. God, I hate cross ruffs. There's a jack. Now, if I can get to the ace jack, I think I'm good. Yeah. So nobody's going to overruff the ace of spades. And I am up to 8 tricks. I could also lead a diamond there, I guess. And I nail out 10 of them. I hate them. I hate cross ruffs. It just seems like waiting for somebody to overruff you. But fortunately, we were able to get all our smaller ruffs and before they could do anything about it. Once we got the Queen of Spades was the only high one out there. Anyway, 420 on a cross ruff. Sometimes that's the right play. But if you're going to do it, lesson number 1, and remember always, get your top tricks first. You got to get your aces. ace kings, because otherwise they're not going to be good at the end of the hand. They're going to get roughed. So this hand's silly. I don't even know why I'm showing it to you. And I screwed it up to begin with. It was only when I reviewed it I thought, oh, isn't that cute? So I got 20 and 3 clubs, and I got spades I can play, and 3 no trump. I didn't even show it to you in class because it's so silly. Okay, so we have 3 diamond tricks. We have the ace of clubs for 4, the ace of hearts for 5, and the ace of spades for 6. 6 tricks. We have queens, right? We have 4 queens, right? And the key to this hand is to score all the queens. So basically we're looking for all the finesses to work, or for us to get linked tricks in clubs and spades if one of the queens doesn't work, right? So so let's see. I'm going to do the club queen first. And I'm going to shoot at it. This was the positional honors thing I've always talked about. If the king is in west, the queen should win. Ah, isn't that brilliant? So then I'm going to do the heart. When the king goes up, now the queen is good, so I'll score the queen as well. We get the club, jack of clubs lead, right? We scored the queen there. The king is in west. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna duck this one time because we might be able to get 7, and it forces him to switch. So I'm going to take the king of diamonds here, and I'm going to score that queen, right? We set it up. We better take it while we can. And then I'm going to cross over to the queen of diamonds. And do I have to take the ace of hearts here? Yeah, I mean, this is all out. I am completely banking on the king of spades being right. Well, and why not? The kings have all been right so far. Everything's on side. But also, I think I could get a favorable lead back on this. So I'll put the queen in, and it works as well. So there you go, a hand on which all the kings were in the right spot. I can cash out my black aces. Oh, it looks like I get a spade too. Did I throw away a spade? Or was it it was the club that was good? Yeah, it would have been good. No, it wasn't good either. So I get 9 tricks, that's it. 3 diamonds, 2 aces, and 3 queens. Sometimes you do what you gotta do. All right, so there's 2 more hands. These were kind of fun hands, and you guys were really good sports to try them. Nick made a really good effort this one, and actually he figured it out too. Partner opens a club, and we eventually get to 6 hearts. I won't bother with the bidding. Well, let's do the bidding. 10, 12, 13. I'll bid a heart, and he bids a spade. So he's looking sort of minimum. He hasn't jump shifted or anything. So I'm going to bid 2 diamonds. This is a forcing bid. Right? Now a game force is in place. It's artificial. It doesn't actually promise diamonds, even though I have them. But what it will do is make North show me 3 hearts. So game force is in place. We have a trump suit, the hearts. And now what I do is I think about what do I need to make slam, and is that possible? Well, I'm going to need him to have maybe the ace king of diamonds, and he's going to have to cover my spade, which hopefully he could. And even if he can't, it's entirely possible that. So, anyways, it's kind of rough. I think that now I'm just going to go ahead and show I have a real diamond suit. And he bids 3 no trump. I'm not going to play in 3 no trump. So now I'll go ahead and bid again. See, this bidding is just crap. I haven't been able to really say anything. How about 4 diamonds again? 4 plus hearts. He doesn't actually know that I have hearts, actually. because I forgot to tell him. Right? I just bid hearts. He thinks I have 4. That's why I bid that. So I give up. I don't know how I managed to bid this with the robot 6 hearts, but I did. And here we are in 6. Oh, I didn't bid it. That's why. This is from my mentor Zaz. Zazanaya. He's not around as much as he used to be. This is one of our boot camp hands from the summer of, I don't know, maybe 2014 or so, 2013, where he drilled us over and over. This is a really fun hand though, and there is a counterintuitive problem here. You look at it and you go, I got 2 clubs. Here, count your winners. I got 2 clubs. I got 5 diamonds, and I got 5 hearts. Right? I got my 12. That's it. They can have the spade. It's over. But it's not quite over, right? Because when they lead a spade again, you have to ruff. Right? And now what happens if you get a bad split? Right? What if it takes 4 hearts, right, to pull all the trump? If the trump are 4-1 and you have to spend all your trump there, right, then you have to take your ace and your king, and you will never get back to the queen and jack. So what you have to do is hold your breath, play the ace of diamonds, king of diamonds rather, and if trump split, everything's great. Don't have any worries. Right? There's 1. But when they don't split, now it's going to take every single last one of your trumps to pull the trumps out of East. And when that happens, you have to make a discard here. Right? And to be able to run your diamonds, you need to pitch the ace of diamonds. You need to unblock that suit. Right? Now you get 4 diamonds and 2 clubs, just like you planned. Right? You got your 5 diamonds, you got your 2 clubs, you got your 5 hearts, and you can claim. Okay, that's called a jettison play. They do come up. Right? That's not some freak hand. These come up, and they come up maybe sometimes a little less dramatic, where you're pitching an ace of diamonds, but they do come up, unblocking the diamond suit so you can run them in your hand. And then finally, we had a hand that Leslie played and did a good job on. And I included it just because it's always fun to see a squeeze, but also because there's a lesson in a squeeze that relates back to our simple ideas that we've been studying the whole session. And it requires you to watch, which is awfully good. So I'm going to bid a heart. We probably won't be able to figure out how to get to slam with this either, because this is also from a book, Simple Squeezes, Bridge to Simple Squeezes by, who wrote that? I can't remember. Great book though. They bid spades. They really like their spades. My partner's giving me no support whatsoever, so I think I'll bid 6 hearts. Okay, thanks. Completely silly auction. But I needed to get 6 hearts because that's where we're going to play it. And I also, I guess we could live with that lead. Okay, so I'm going to win that one. Now I don't have any club losers, right? Where's the queen of clubs? I think that you could assume the queen of clubs is in West. He's hoping to set up a trick and set this thing. Right? So let's just put the queen of clubs in West's hand. Right? We have some losers to deal with. We don't have the king, queen of diamonds. We don't have the queen of clubs. We're going to take all the hearts. Right? But our problem is, where are we going to find enough tricks? So we've won 1. We got the ace of clubs and we got the ace of diamonds. That's 2. And we have 1, 2. We had 9 hearts. So 9 hearts. The ace of clubs is 10. The ace of diamonds is 11. And the question is, where is our 12th trick? Right? And in a squeeze, what you want to do is kind of play it to the end. When you got a long suit to run, you can make them discard over and over and over again. And in this case, what we're hoping for is that we're going to know whether we can make the ace and jack of diamonds good, or whether somebody will pitch the queen of clubs. And since we know who has the queen of clubs, what we're really hoping for is that West also is defending diamonds. Right? If they have the king, queen of diamonds, and they have the queen of clubs, then we're in trouble. How did the auction start? he's got probably 10, 8, 9, 10 points. Right? He's got points over there, and we know 5 of them were in clubs. We just need the others can't be in hearts, so that only leaves the spades. And the spades were bid by East. So this is not even an unreasonable assumption that West has the king, queen of diamonds. But more importantly, it's all we got, right? So we start pulling, right? Notice we have 6 diamonds. That means they have 7. I imagine we'll see a lot of spades out of East. We had 2 hearts. Both the hearts were in West. So he had 2 hearts. He supported the spades with 3. So that's 5 cards. He could have 8 minors. We want him to have 8 minors, including the king and queen. Right? So let's see. Though East threw a diamond, and now West throws a diamond. Remember that they started with 7. They're down to 5 diamonds now. We're going to throw all the clubs away except for the jack. That's our other threat, as we say in squeeze language. Our threat of a winner is the club. Did I lose a spade yet? Okay, I forgot to lose the spade. I need to lose the spade. See if I can still do it now. No, I screwed up because let's see. Whoever wins the spade will play the club. I'll rough it. Now the threat is gone. So, sorry, I get to jabbering. I'm just going to upload it easier. The other thing that you have to do in a squeeze play, right? If we're trying to pinch them down, is that we call it rectifying the count, right? We have to have already lost the only trick that we're going to lose. And now he's going to leave a heart. Do we care about that? Yeah, we do. No, maybe not. Let's see if we can still squeeze him at a heart lead. So he leads a heart, and we find out he has the 2 of them. We got to lose the spade. This is called rectifying the count. Right? I'm giving him a trick. Yeah, and if they lead back a diamond here, good. I'm glad they didn't. Then they would have given us the hand. So we'll rough that spade. Okay, so now we've lost the one that we can afford to lose. I'm going to win the ace of clubs. And they just gave us the hand again. No, he still got the king. He's still got the king. That's the smallest of the 2. So we know that if we assume that the king of clubs is over there, it would have been nicer if he just let it, and that shows us where the queen is. But Bot changed his mind. Counting the diamonds drop. Right, there goes 1. And we're hoping that West has the king queen of diamonds and the queen of clubs, right? Which, or in this case, the king of clubs. The last time when we tried to play it first, he led the king of clubs, which made it a little easier to spot things. But apparently, he saw the writing on the wall and changed his strategy. Somehow, we altered the algorithm. Now notice I'm just playing these out. There goes a diamond. There goes another diamond. Now I start pitching diamonds. They're going to get rid of their spades. Okay. And there goes a club. So when we get to this position, what we're hoping that is that West is guarding the diamonds and also guarding the clubs. And then we will know what card to pitch from North when we play the last heart. The last heart is called the squeeze card. Okay, so we saw the squeeze card, the threats. The threats are the jack of diamonds and the jack of clubs. And this is the squeeze card. And if West has what we need him to have, then we'll know how to play this hand. When he plays the king of clubs, which he has to do, frankly, it's the right play, we know that the jack of clubs is good. So there's no longer any reason to keep diamond because the jack of clubs is a good card. This is just a squeeze, simple squeeze. Notice that it was based around the idea of how do we get How do we score the jack of diamonds, or how do we score the jack of clubs? And they have to be sitting after the hands that hold the queens and kings. And in this case, they were. How we score them is a completely different matter um, because it's not like we're just missing one of them and can rely on a finesse, right? We can only lose one, and so we have to actually make them pitch down. Squeezes only work if the cards are in the right place. Right? They were here, and it was fairly reasonable that they would be, given the auction. Right? The auction was, had East showing spades, and simple 3-card support from West, and then he had 2 hearts. So it certainly seemed like he had 8 diamonds, and that gets us there. So, anyways, a squeeze. They're fun, part of one of many end plays that you grow into and become accustomed to seeing, or actually even just looking for at first. Thinking, okay, well, there's no way for me to get this 12th trick. What do I have to do? Anyways, thank you very much for the second session of Next Steps for Ambitious Beginners. And I hope that you'll join me next year whenever I put it together. Still debating in my head whether we should do defense, whether we should do more card play, or whether we should do some bidding. And I've heard opinions. Would love to hear back from you if you have a preference for one or the other. I'm thinking that we'll probably start sometime end of January, and take it from there. I will post periodically over the next until then, as I see things that you might find interesting, and I hope that you would consider contacting me about private lessons, online lessons. You can do them individually. I think I'm fairly reasonably priced, or even in groups. And if you email, we can talk about that. Lastly, if the playlist is public, there's some 30 videos on it now. Feel free to use it all the time. Feel free to tell people about it. It's there. It's there as a resource. Okay, well, support the bill. I grew up in the bill, and there's nothing like it. And thank you, Maureen.